Okay, everyone. Today we're going to do municipal securities. There's a lot of different types of municipal bonds. We're going to discuss them. We're also going to do a little bit of math for calculating an equivalent yield. So let's get down to the basics on municipals. Municipals, two main types: general obligations called GOs, and revenue bonds. GOs are very simple, so are revenues. It's just the type of project that they can do with them. Let's say this is a toll road, a dam, a paid community center with a pool. Okay, these are all generating revenue. The revenue is going to pay the investors, not the municipal government, not that government. The municipality is off the hook. They wrote a big prospectus on a project and they sent it to investors and they said, you know what, we're going to issue revenue bonds. You're going to be paid by the proceeds from all these. Now here's the numbers, here's what we're doing. You're going to treat it like a business. You have to. Because if there's not enough revenue, the municipal government is not going to pay. So what are general obligations used for? Regular roads, maintenance of the city, workers, school district, anything that doesn't have a regular flow of income, regular stream of revenue to pay for it. What the government is supposed to do for us: education, the roads, maintain the parks, do the paperwork on everything else, the police, that stuff. Those are general obligations. Okay? Certainly they're going to take a lot of it out of the taxes, but sometimes they need to raise more. And that's important because they have to be able to raise money to do it. They have to have their credit ceiling. There's a ceiling. Raise the debt limit. If it's the federal government, all they do is fight and whine and complain about each other and posture with the people and say, we got to raise the debt level. We got to do this. We got to do that. Well, yeah, they got to vote it. But the government votes themselves a pay raise. They vote themselves more credit to spend. Municipal governments can't do that. Cities, states, counties, they can't do it. They need your votes. They need you to vote on it. So when you go to the polls and you see to expand, to do an annex building to this school, we need to raise, we're going to issue bonds to do this. That's because they're already at their limit. They need permission to raise the limit so that they can issue general obligation bonds. Otherwise, the revenue bonds are the only thing that don't go against this ceiling because it's based on projects. But if what they want to do does not generate revenue to pay it off, they got to get the ceiling raised. That's the politics of the municipal government. Okay. A little bit more accountability, but a lot of times the people don't realize that they already outlived their debt level. Okay, so what else do we have to learn about municipals? Let's talk about identifying municipal notes. This gets a lot of people. Municipal notes. Municipal notes, you got it, the bands, TANs, TRANs, GANs, CLNs. Suppose there's a lot more, but here's what we're going to do. Everybody seems to be intimidated, but not everybody. There's a lot of people that are intimidated and they can't keep these straight to save their mind. But let me ask you this. If you have kids, do you read them stories? Do you help them with their alphabet? Okay. Time for you to take an alphabet lesson. That's what you need to know. The letters, what do they mean? Bonds, taxes, taxes and revenue, grants, construction loans. There you go. The question, what type of securities, what type of note should a municipality issue if they're anticipating, if they're going to pay off the investors with taxes and some revenue from the project? A TRAN, T-R. What if the project is going to be funded by bonds, but they want to start it faster? What municipal note, short term, should they issue? Bands. It's going to be replaced by bonds. Bond anticipation notes. Bands. Forget about the AN. That's anticipation notes. They expect money to come in. How do they expect it to come in? Either from a government grant, construction loan, taxes, a bond, revenue. Pretty straightforward. Okay, those are municipal notes. 3 months to a couple years, maybe 3 years max. Okay. Now, let's talk about tax equivalent yield and tax-free equivalent. Let's just call it equivalence. Equivalent yields. What are we going to do with equivalent yields? Here's what we need to do. We need to know something comparable in the taxable market to the tax-free market. That's what we're doing. So we got a municipal government, muni bond, pays 4%. I'm in the 30% tax bracket. I wish. Tax bracket 30%, that's your client. They told you about a 4% bond. They say, hey, what do you got that's comparable or better? Well, what's the rating of the bond? Okay, it's a AAA bond. Or let's make it realistic and say AA bond. AA. So you want a AA in the corporate side? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so there's the math. 0.7 divided by 4. Or 4 divided by 0.7. Move the decimal, move it over. What do we got? So about 5.7%. 5.7%, what's that telling me? We determined that based on the tax bracket, if I get this muni bond and I got 4% and it's a $1,000 bond, at the end of tax season, I'm going to have 40 bucks in my pocket. The interest ain't going to be taxed. Growth, if I have a capital gain, that would be taxed, but not the interest. But what's it compared to? 5.7 corporate bond. Or a treasury bond, but you're not going to find a treasury bond at 5.7. Not if that's what the munis are. So, what do we have here? The same thing. I'll get 5.7 from IBM, but after my taxes are taken out, I got 40 bucks in my pocket. If I can find a AA corporate bond above 5.7, I should buy it instead of this bond. I should recommend it over that bond. if the quality is the same. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're trying to find an equivalent. That's the taxable equivalent to a tax-free bond. Now, go the other way. Let's do the math the other way. What if I have a 6% IBM bond and I'm in the 30% tax bracket? What's the municipal, what's the tax-free equivalent? Tax-free, okay. 1 minus the 0.3, put that in the decimal, equals 0.7, right? You learned that. Multiply it. Okay? This is saying if I want to get something comparable, maybe this is AA rated, I need to look for an AA rated municipal bond that's tax-free at 4.2 or better. If I can find a AA rated municipal bond tax-free above that, I should buy the bond. That's the municipal. If I can't find anything of equal, maybe I have to go to single A or triple B to get the 4.2? No. Stick with the AA rated IBM bond. This is the taxable bond. This is the tax-free equivalent. Okay? That's munis. Have a good day.